you've got to be able to not be afraid of the insurers. You've got to go toe to toe with them.
Right.
It's a multi-pronged approach to get what we need.
There needs to be leadership. Who is the leadership?
You, George, you're on PAC right now. You're a leader.
Unfortunately, the council in Virginia, the person's very well-meaning, very smart, but there's a problem across all of the AAP Chicago and all of the state chapters. These are volunteer positions. So people are seeing their full load of patients 4 days, 5 days a week. And then they're trying to find time to still see their kids, still see their friends, and still do this advocacy for free. And that's a tough ask in the complicated world we live in. I know I'm in the minority, but I told Dr. Jesse Hackle, these have to be paid positions so people can take a whole day off from their clinical load and do this work because it's really important. And he doesn't feel like that. He feels that it's our obligation to give back. But if you want the younger doctors to be involved that are not making that much money in pediatrics and they still need to pay bills, we need to pay for this time. We're in a tough place. And it's very interesting that you mentioned United Healthcare, the evil empire, because like you, I share a strong dislike for the way they do things. But they're not meeting their HIDIS measures on lead screening in Virginia because they pay LabCorp requests on a capitated basis. Mm-hmm. So there are no lead screens or hemoglobin tests done, no HemoQs for child exams in Virginia. They all have to go to LabCorp.
And they never go.
And so they don't go. So you know what their solution is? They now send, oh, by the way, we're going to send you a card, like the newborn screen card, right? Would you just do a finger stick on the kid, blot the blood on the card and mail it back so we can get this done? And I'm like, to the owner of the practice, really? Are they paying you for the capillary blood draw? No, that's zero reimbursement. Are they paying you the $99,000 for handling the specimen and mailing it? No, zero. You know what? Keep sending them to the lab. I don't care if they make their HIDIS measure and they make an extra buck for this or not. Not my problem.
Yeah. So I agree with you that we can say no to the insurers. And if they come back and yell and scream and we're going to drop you, go ahead. Drop enough of us in my area, you will be able to sell insurance here. You've got to be able to have enough people. It's only 10% that you would need in any given geographical area to say no to them, to make them sit up and listen and change the way they do things.
But you also get these top-down heavy recommendations that independent pediatricians are supposed to implement. They're good medically, like the ACEs, the SDOH, MCHATs, PHQ-9, depression, suicide screens. It takes time. It takes resources.
It does.
And many times they're not covered.
It's a problem that I know I personally had brought up, and with Bright Futures, I was on a panel once, and I won't say which of their Bright Future people were there, but that individual talked to me for 3 years afterwards because I said, these are great things. I know it's for the betterment of our patients, but we need to be paid for this. It's our time. And this person, very altruistic, said, no, it's a responsibility we have. Yeah, it is, but there's only so much time in a day. I'm not getting paid for this. Am I going to shortchange someone else in time? Yes, we've gone back to the national to say, before you come up with a recommendation in the future, and this has to be 12, 15 years ago, you got to think of the financial implications to the pediatrician in the office seeing the patient. You can't just say, do this, but it's the right thing to do. We need to be paid appropriately. And maybe it's $5 for it. I don't care.
And these things are not even big ticket items. They're $10, $5, $8, but there's a lot of technology, a lot of resources, a lot of moving parts.